Hi everybody, old guy here, and today's novel is Poul Anderson's The Time Patrol. And it's not really a novel, it's much more a compilation of novellas and rather long short stories centered around Poul Anderson's Time Patrol, hence the title, which is a super secret organization of time police dedicated to keeping history alive, or intact, or not screwed with, because doing so might end the existence of the Denellians, who are future humans of such godlike powers that they went back in time to create the Time Patrol to make sure that no one effed with time and therefore ceased their upcoming existence. Not the most altruistic of reasons, but self-preservation is a thing, and if there are people idiotic enough to go back in time and shoot Hitler's father, gotta stop them. Idiotic? Why, that's about the first thing any halfway intelligent time traveler should do, right? Well, no. Because according to the Denellians, any alteration of the time nexus will end up destroying the future. Terrible things have to occur so that time travels its known path, culminating in the Denellians. That sucks for the Jews in Germany in the 1930s, but you gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet. And if it takes billions of lives to make the Denellian paradise a reality, then so be it. I don't quite know what to make of that. On one hand, the Denellians are super advanced and enlightened, and a future of humanity which we can all be proud. It's like a father sacrificing his health and dreams just to ensure his children are warm, fed, and have a future that was denied him. On the other hand, you'd think a super advanced human society that invents the Time Patrol could figure out a way to alter some of those events. Say have England and France step up in 1936 and boot Hitler out of power in a way that didn't jeopardize the Denellians' future existence. Maybe they're not all that. Don't know, because you never get to meet any Denellians. They're referred to obliquely and in background and context, but you do not get a face-to-face. From the few times you do hear about them, you could easily conclude they are some highfalutin beings that barely tolerate our existence, but need us to make sure their existence comes about. In other words, typical humans. So this is the hand you're dealt, and Mance Everard becomes the recurring character in all of these Time Patrol stories, trying to deal with the hand dealt. He's recruited in the first story, called, appropriately enough, Time Patrol. He is a combat veteran of World War II at loose ends and single and action man from head to toe. And he answers an ad for a high-paying job with foreign travel. Is put through a bizarre series of tests, and next thing you know, is training in all things time travel at the Time Patrol Academy, set back in the Oligocene period. So it doesn't mess with any human history. Oligocene? Did I say that right? Lots of the training involves brain implant learning. So, those Denellians are pretty advanced peoples. And he goes off on his first couple of missions and promptly screws the pooch, risking eternal banishment to the planet of exiles, which is where anyone who messes with the time stream gets sent. We never do visit this planet of exiles, by the way. We just know of its existence. Now, you only get to be exiled if the Denalians let you live. In Mance's case, after screwing things up, he is kicked upstairs and becomes an unattached patrolman, which means he can work in any era and on any mission instead of specializing in, say, post-Roman Goths. So why the promotion? Because there aren't a lot of Time Patrol officers, and you have to go with the devil you know. So, in this case, they go with Mance. Which isn't a bad choice, because he usually has the future of humanity in mind as he is skipping through the time stream, setting things aright. Usually. Sometimes things get a little personal and he risks a one-way trip to planet exile, but it all works out messily. It turns out that time is in as much danger from its own patrolmen as it is from time pirates and freebooters. And you never know from one story to the next who the bad guy is going to actually be. Sometimes it's Mance, who finds a way out of the predicaments but leaves scars. It's not all rosy and good things set back in their places, and you will often wonder about the temerity of the people assigned to keep time in its place. There are some fascinating stories in here, though, I gotta say. My favorite being the only game in town, when a Mongol expedition makes it to North America in the 12th century and threatens to preempt all that Spanish conquistadorism, which happens, some 200 to 300 years later. Another good story is the Year of the Ransom, in which renegade time travelers attempt to disrupt Pizarro's Inca conquest. But not all the stories are set back during the New World and the exploration period. The stories are everywhere. In fact, the most heartbreaking of them is Star of the Sea, which is a revenge story set in the last gasp of the Roman Empire. A rather justified revenge, in my opinion, which must be stopped before it achieves its goal. And that's too bad. Now, I personally do not believe in time travel. I just don't think you can impose a physical matter back into a setting in which it doesn't belong without setting off some universe-wide supernova of some kind. Even if it were possible, I do not believe you can alter time. You can alter your time to the point where you simply cease to exist. A blip in the time stream that quickly absorbed and forgotten. Now there's an excellent story that I read in the 1960s sometime that is about two time travelers that keep going back and altering history by doing things like shooting Hitler's father, and both of them end up ghosts outside of time, able to observe but not participate in life anymore. I wish I could remember that story because it's pretty much my viewpoint, and I can't remember the name of the story, and I cannot remember who wrote it, but it was a good one. And these are good ones, whether you buy time travel or not. Old guy here. See you later.